So I know this law very well. And after 8 months of being tortured, starved, beaten, put in a hole, maximum security for a Class 6 felony, which is the lowest kind of felony there is, I learned this law very, very well. And I used it to get out of the hole. The law in Arizona is 39-161, filing a false and or forged document in a public office. Understand the court is not a public office. First person in the history of the United States ever put in prison for entering evidence in a court case. And that same court says that the court is not a public office. So we don't know how it ever happened, but it happened, and it utterly destroyed my life. I will tell you, there are people out there, these gurus, that are selling this absolute insanity. And we just recently lost one of them, and he was a good person, but his presumption was incorrect. He had people recording our substitution of trustee. Now, I am getting calls from a lot of people. Is a lady named Karen here? Okay. No, she wouldn't on Talk To You. No, not Angela from Talk To You. But she was supposed to be here today. She didn't show up? Well, no, not the Karen that I'm talking about. Karen Tappert is one of the people that told everybody record documents. A crime is a crime is a crime. If you look at Arizona statute, Arizona Revised Statute 39-161, and you go down and you record a document in a county recorder's office, you have committed a Class 6 felony. Now, I warned people about this months and months ago. Don't do it, don't do it. And I think, you know, I'm not going to berate Karen Tappert. I just don't handle any of the stuff that she does. I don't want anything to do with it. Or Jerry Kane stuff or any of that stuff. Because it's telling you to commit a Class 6 felony repetitively. Now, what we prove, and Bill's stuff goes into it very well. Charles Horner's stuff goes into it well. Most forensic examiner stuff goes into it very well. The banks record all kinds of false, fraudulent, and forged documents into the county recorder's office because they don't have the rights to do anything. You gave them the note. They gave you the house. You're done. Then in a separate deal, you gave them a deed of trust. They still haven't given you the money. Then they try and record all these documents so that they can steal your house. They're all false. You look at every aspect of the notary, it's false. Sometimes they'll use their personal notary number for electronic stuff. There's this guy with the last name Nelson. This guy makes, you know, the SST look like a friggin' golf cart. This guy can be in Florida, Oklahoma, California, and Texas all within about 3.5 seconds. It can't happen. Okay? So we know all of this stuff's fraudulent. Each time you do that, that's a Class 6 felony in Arizona. Now, by the time you get done recording documents, you could have 7 in there quite easily. The way they charge it is all the intricate charges that go along with it because you have to cause people to do things. One filing, one document in the state of Arizona goes in the county recorder's office and it's false, fraudulent, or forged. You know how many felonies that constitutes in Arizona law? Take a guess. 11. It's 11 felonies. 11. That works out to somewhere between 7 and 15 years. So, but here's the other side of that. When recording companies like title officers and that sort of thing. See, they've got some trick, and I don't know what it is because I stay away from this. But I know because I've talked to enough people involved in this, because this is getting ready to go nuts. Every county attorney, every prosecutor, because we're starting to go the other way with this foreclosure stuff. With this concept, we're going to really start going against the banks and be able to start winning and knocking them out. So how's the government going to help the banks? Prosecute. Prosecute. It's the American way. So they're going to find anybody that has recorded this crap and hunt them down. And you better expect it. You better do something about it before they come after you. The way I would do it is I would get a hold of a title group, because they record all kinds of stuff incorrectly. I mean, it's people working in office. You guys remember what it was like? I mean, when we were buying houses, 2 a day, Cindy and I sold 24 $500,000 homes in a 4-hour period one day. That's $12 million in private real estate in a 4-hour period. This was nuts. A lot of stuff got recorded improperly. So the title companies have forms that they file. Find out what those forms are. Get them in there, guys. The law is pretty specific, that if you correct it before there's damage, there's no willful intent. You guys, this is not legal advice, but you may really want to find out how to undo it before they discover it, because if you think they're not going to file criminal charges on you, you ain't dealt with the American court system yet.
Okay, but I didn't get an answer. Then you're saying that she had no right to substitute the trustee.
What gives her the legal authority? What gives the bank the legal authority? Who the hell was the trustee? Wait a second. See, there again, we're going to go back to this. We're going to go back to this a lot. Is this valid?
No.
The deed of trust?
No.
Why is it not valid?
Because I got nothing in return.
Okay. So who's the trustee?
I guess there is none.
Then how is there a legal substitution of trustee?
Okay.
So in your case, it's not who's the criminal. Who the hell's not a criminal in your case? Okay. And it's real important to understand. Fraus dona vitiatus. Latin is fraud vitiates everything. Not most things, not a lot of things, not what you bought on Tuesday. Fraud vitiates everything. SCOTUS has always, in every decision concerning fraud, stated fraud vitiates everything. The maxim of law, one of the original maxims of law, fraud vitiates everything. What do we define everything as? Everything. So how could there be a lawful substitution of trustee? There's not even a damn trustee. Just person to person, not legal advice. Get on this and get on it quick. Because these county attorneys are looking at this stuff. The one case I was talking about earlier, the lady that entered that document got 11 felonies. Her friend, a real estate agent, licensed to be a trustee in business deals. I don't know anything about insurance. I don't handle bankruptcy law. I don't handle insurance law. I don't do any of that stuff. But apparently an insurance agent can have like a license to be a trustee or something. Don't know how it works. Don't care to know. This is her friend. He didn't sign any documents. She put his name on the documents as he was trustee because he said, yeah, I'll be trustee. It's her friend and her insurance agent. How's he going to say no? She's looking at 11 felonies. They gave him 12. He didn't have anything to do with it. His name's on the document. He got arrested for 12 felonies. Guys, if you've been involved in that, you may want to look at undoing something. Patrick, did we have anybody else over here? Oh, right behind you. Just right behind you. Okay, not right behind you.
Okay, I'm trying to simplify this so I could really understand it. We have an owner who wants to sell their house. It's free and clear. The house is for sale. A buyer walks down a block, sees the house, says, you know, I'd like to buy that house, but I'm going to have to go to the bank for a, quote, loan. The buyer applies to the bank for the loan. He signs a deed of trust, and he signs a note. Now, the bank provides the owner of the house who was selling it with the $100,000 for, for the house. My question is, first of all, where does this $100,000 come from? And the other, could that money the bank paid the owner of that house be considered the loan?
Yes, no, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Back to the house. Now, remember, this is only so long of a class, so I simplified it so you understand it. If we go through the whole thing, the bank over there, this is so you know it's the bank, they've got the big money. You give the bank the note. Does the bank give the guy the money and the house? That's how you're picturing it.
Right.
It's not really what happens. The bank is sitting there. It's a bank. It don't move. So you walk over it and you give them a note. Now the bank doesn't have any money. Banks don't have money. Do you understand that? Banks don't have money. They don't. They can't. It's not what banks do. Banks are there to steal money, not give it. So you give the bank the note. So the bank sells it to their friend. The friend gives them the note. The friends give them the money. Do you think this money goes over there? No. The bank can now loan out 27 times that amount. So they take a loan upon themselves and they give that over to there. Really? It's like, I'd like to be a part of that deal if I didn't have ethics. So that's how. So it's not even, they don't even get this money. They get the money. This generates 27 times that amount in this bulk pot that they can grab and throw out. So they do that. Now when they do that, they still can lend out 26 times. Do you really think they're worried about this? No. This doesn't even mean nothing. Okay? It's that 27 times. So that's how the guy gets paid for his house.
Where does the money, but you said that it was a loan on that house.
Oh, I understand it now.
No, the bank does pay it off. They give this guy the money. But it's all just a scam. It's not, see, we call it money. What is it really? But no, the stuff that we call money, what is it really? It's a piece of paper. It's a note. It has no intrinsic value whatsoever. You don't even know what they got to do to print it. And I'm not going to discuss that here. Excuse me. But it has no value. It's not like they're delivering, 20 pounds of gold over there. They're just delivering some paper, stuff they just had these other guys in Puerto Rico print up.
Well, thank you. Your explanation just now clarified it totally for me. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Okay, we got one more over there, and then you.
Sticking on the notes, if Bank of America purchases Countrywide, are the notes considered sold